hello, people of Nigeria and fellow advocates all over the world. It's another edition of SDGs Connect, and I'm here today with two beautiful ladies. But before then, let me introduce myself. I'm Moyo Soluola Dayo, your host for SDGs Connect. What we do is just advocating for the Sustainable Development Goals, showcasing what we do here as citizens and innovators, and also tell you practical ways to ensure that we implement and impact on each other and also to be able to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Right here with me, we have two beautiful ladies. Yes, don't tell me I'm gender biased. No, don't worry. But I have with me Truth Osumareton. Please pardon me. We have Truth in the house, and Truth is a Director of Digital Communications, Area I. Area I is Aid for Rural Education Access Initiative. Hi, Truth. How are you?
Hello, good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you. I've heard a lot about you. I was saying in person, for the first time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And also we have another power woman. I like it when I have powerful ladies on the show. We have Edidiong Simeon. And hello, Eddie. Hello. Is that the right way to say? Simeon. And she's a community engagement manager for Area I. We have two beautiful ladies here. They're not just beautiful, but they're with brains. And our topic today, we'll be discussing promoting social justice in digital economy. Promoting social justice in digital economy. I was looking at it and wondering, why this topic? Yeah, we know it's the World Social Justice Day. It's really around the corner. But we also know that it's evolving. We're growing. It's a modern world. And we can't talk about development without digitalization. So what's the idea behind social justice? I don't really want to go into digital first. Let's look at the social justice aspects.
Do you want to take that, Edidiong?
I think before we go into the term of social, let's look at the word justice. Okay, so justice talks about fairness. Mm-hmm. Yes, and then when you talk about social justice, it's about social fairness. Yeah. So it's an all-encompassing word, and so you're talking about fairness in every aspect as it relates to human being. So social justice, you can say fairness in the health system, fairness in employment, fairness in education, in business, irrespective of money, power, or your location, irrespective of where you are. Everyone should have fairness in whatever location in some of these aspects that I've itemized.
Definitely. You know that for SDGs, we don't want to leave anyone behind. So we are saying that let's be fair. We understand that we may not have equality, but do we want equity? Yeah, you might be wondering, that's another topic for another day. But let's have fairness. Let people have at least the basic access to what will make life meaningful to them. So the question to you, Truth, is why social justice in digital economy? Why are we even talking about this?
We have to, I feel like this is something that we talk about a lot, but it is our reality. We're now in a digitalized society. We cannot run away from it. Everything is digital. It's digital communications, digital media, digital marketing, digital economy, digital learning, digital everything. So just like we have social justice as it relates to everyday life and access to opportunities and access to everything, we also have that in this digitalized society that we have. So we can't do away with social justice in digitalized society because this is where we are now.
Yeah, and I'm going to just share with you a practical experience. You know, for someone who is working remotely for 2 years, my first year, at a point, my line manager was like, what help do you need to make sure that you're online? It's something that even if we don't get it right, we could lose our source of income and things like that. So we can't shy away from ensuring that we have access to it. But as a nation, do you think we're getting there? I don't like saying are we below average. It's just glaring. But how can we ensure that this is not the disparity or the differences is we're able to bridge the gap because there's a huge gap between people who have access to it. And we're still going to talk about what you do in area. I see you guys do a lot when it comes to rural community and how you promote education and digital education. But before we get there, how are we able to bridge that gap between people who have and people who really need it but don't have? So do you want to go through it?
I think we should actually talk about this gap that we're talking about, this gap. We have about 200 million people in Nigeria, estimated, and less than half of that number have access to the internet.
Definitely.
So that's a problem. That's a huge problem in this digitalized society that we have established.
I'm wondering how.
Exactly. So that's the gap that we're talking about. Last year, one of the things that I did was a survey. So we went to 6 different states and we went to different communities to actually see, I've been saying there's a gap, but what is the actual gap?
Yeah.
And then so we went to these communities, and from our findings, we were able to put our findings together. I'll show you some of our work. So we have like I'm going ahead of myself. I just wanted to establish that there's an actual gap, and then we have figures for the gap. It's not just something that we are thinking about in our head. There's an actual gap.
Yeah.
86 million people.
That's a problem.
That's an actual problem.
The question now as a program manager and community manager, I'll send this to Ade. When we are doing our programs, and as also a program person myself, we want to say, we can have it online because information is being shared and it's easy and everything. But there's a huge gap. There are lots of people that we're cutting off from accessing this information. And she has said practically, giving us the statistics, how are we able to pass the message across to the people in the community? Practically now, and you can go technical in this as a program person. How do you think we should handle this?
I can say that if we begin to look at it as an individual problem or how one man can solve this problem, we'll actually get it wrong.
Definitely.
We cannot get that without active participation and collaboration between the citizens and the government.
Yes.
As someone who is the community engagement manager, whenever we deploy interventions, we liaise with the government because they can also make it sustainable.
Yes.
And they actually have the ears of the people. They know everybody in their community. They know everybody in their state. They know what is obtainable. And we might not agree. Some of these people that we are even trying to provide access, they don't want it.
Yeah.
They don't want it. They don't see the need for it.
Yes.
And it takes people that they trust, such as their government, their community leaders, to convince them that, this would be beneficial to the community. Let us take it. Take, for example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, we designed a digital solution called DigiLens for students to learn. And I don't want to mention the school.
Okay.
Here in Abuja.
Oh!
Yes. So what we did, because the student didn't have a phone, the wonderful thing about DigiLens is you don't need a smartphone.
Yeah.
As long as you have
what we call Nokia.
The popular touchlight phone.
Yes.
And you dial *347#. I would confirm that.
Yeah.
And you dial that code, you can get access to Google offline.
Wow.
Yes, you can get access to your school curriculum as well.
Beautiful.
So we went to the school, a government school here in FCT, not any state, FCT.
FCT, Abuja.
And we bought phones, these touchlight phones.
Yes.
And we distributed it to the students so that learning can continue.
Yes.
We came back some months later and we discovered that the students had sold the phone.
What?
So I think while we are talking about providing access, 86 million people, they don't have access. How many of them are actually interested in the access?
Yeah, so, I always say this every time, like, what much advocacy is too much? Like, what level of advocacy is too much? Because sometimes people say, you're saying the same thing over and over, and you hear this story, and you're wondering, like, okay, probably they've not been sensitized about the value, and they've also not been told the advantages and things that they will benefit from this. But someone could have. But, when 2, 3, 4, 5 organizations is talking about the same thing, and we're advocating for the same thing, because, change, the world is evolving. the world is digitalizing. Sometimes you wonder, at the point I was telling someone that in Nigeria, when it's raining season, we have issues with the internet. Should you be saying that? Because they could not even relate. Colleagues outside could not relate. Like, really? Do you have this? I said, yes. Someone said, does your internet work with your weather? You get, because they just didn't understand why you'll be in a meeting, then you go offline for like, and then what's your problem? So we're also talking about future leaders, our generation leaders, and people who should value education. And because of this intervention, you saw a problem, you were trying to address it, but imagine. So if we're talking about this now, and this is a reality, how do we now, and in practical terms, you've given us an example of what you're doing here, right? But how do we also take this beyond, if parents, sometimes we think it's just the community of educators, the community of workers, the community. How do we take this to parents? If a mother who doesn't understand 1, 2, 3 knows the value of what you've given to the child, probably would have corrected them. But I'm telling you that it's those mothers, and I'm sincere, those parents may even be the one instigating, saying, go and sell it, I need the money to buy food. So how do we take this to the formal and informal, direct and indirect beneficiaries? Oh, no.
I'll still say that the parents are part of the community.
I don't know.
So I just wanted to
say that. Yeah, yes. Okay, yes.
Yes, and okay, first let me start by confirming the code, because we didn't start 347 star 744 hash. That's star 347 star 744 hash. And with this, with Digilens, a child can access. We used the Nigerian curriculum to develop it, so it's accredited.
Is it free?
That's the thing, but it's very minimal. It's a low cost. It's a low cost system. So with this, because we're thinking about Nigerian solutions for our problem. Mm-hmm. So when we say internet, first you have to find the internet. But with this, you don't even need to connect to the internet.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's one. And then we talked about digital awareness. Mm-hmm. So if they don't even know, if they're not aware about the value of the system and the digitalized system and how they can be part of it, how would they be part of it? So with our surveys last year, we created 3 different documents. Okay. We have the policy guide for policymakers and stakeholders in the education sector. We have the access toolkit for school leaders. Okay. And we have the digital learning manual for students. Okay. So students can actually open it and learn about low-cost offline tools. Mm-hmm. And that I was waiting for Edidiong to tell us about her experience. She has been in Kaduna, she has been in Jigawa, Kano, and she just came back from Edo State. They are distributing the digital learning manuals and telling children just the opportunities that are available in this digitalized society that we are in.
Let me also talk about how we get how do we provide access to them? Mm-hmm. The code, one of the things we looked at was internet, just as she said.
Yeah.
Not everybody would have access to internet.
Yes.
So this solution does not need the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So part of our survey, we curated 9 offline solutions.
Okay.
When I mean not just offline, and affordable solutions that people can use to learn, not just solutions, digital solutions.
Okay.
Yes, that learners can use, that everyday people can use to learn. So in addressing the question, I think the first thing is getting awareness.
Definitely.
Letting people be informed. You'll be surprised, Zoom, everybody talks about Zoom in the urban center. Who knows Zoom?
It's true, nobody in the rural area.
We are still conducting a baseline survey, and then we ask some people don't know what Google is. Mm. Some people will even tell you they don't know what a television is.
Definitely.
In this age. Yeah. So the first step to promoting a digital economy is creating awareness, especially for people that have that divide. It did not take long for people in the urban cities.
To adjust.
We didn't know Zoom before, now we know, fine, COVID came. But for them, nothing happened. They don't know about it. Mm-hmm. And so if you now come and say, we are going to install a mast here, we are going to provide internet access, we are going to get laptops for you. I can cite instances of even another intervention where they provided laptops and all of these learning materials for students. Mm-hmm. And the school locked it up. nobody was using it, and it was solar powered, so it wasn't a problem of light.
Yeah.
Nobody was using it. So the first step to bridging this gap is creating awareness. And that is one of the things that we set out to do. We are distributing the manuals. We are creating the awareness. You can learn. You can. You don't need your teacher. You can tune into the radio. You can use Digilens. Once again, *347 *774 #. *347 *774 #. We also talked about VR, virtual reality, open educational resources. There's Google, and I remember. There are some schools that when we go to and say like, wow, oh, I did not know. Oh, does this work here? Does this exist? So, and having collaboration with the government is key. Yeah. No one individual, no civil society organization can do it alone. And for SDG, partnership for the goals.
Yeah.
You need to carry everyone along because they are the ones, even with the people, and they can convince them.
I like the fact that you talk about the partnership, especially when you talk about government, because there's sometimes civil society feels they are the rivals. We are where the government has feel we are yet to be the messiah. No, we are collaborating, we are working together, and it's not a competition. We're doing this for humanity. So if you're there and you have beautiful ideas, interventions, solutions, you alone can achieve greatness. But you, in collaborating with other people, will achieve more greatness and impact more people. But how has it been working with government? Because
Thank you for that.
how has it been? Sometimes people feel, okay, you're painting a reality that doesn't exist. But we usually have our good and high moments and low moments. But just sharing with us how we can, practical ways we can really work with government to ensure that we achieve impact. I don't want to say it's always gory. It's never always gory. I work with government in Nigeria as well. I've seen them embrace great ideas. But just share with us your experience.
Okay. I think, okay, let me just speak generally for now.
Yeah.
I think every sustainable project or intervention needs to partner with the government.
Yeah, yes. I agree.
Because, would I say, they are the consistent factor in that equation. They are the ones that will always be there. They are the ones that will always interact with people. There's this popular saying, they say, soldier come, soldier go.
Barrack remains, yeah.
So in this case,
they are the barrack.
Come, soldier go, government remain.
Yeah.
You know, so in working with the government, we've seen some instances where sometimes the government is really receptive. They are happy to receive you. And then there are some cases where the government becomes a bottleneck in the process. Yes. And then you also see some instances where some people are looking for an opportunity to amass wealth. Yes, they are looking for an opportunity where, how can this come to me? Or how can I send? Probably you have this intervention and you said, intervention would best work in village A. And then you work with the government and the person that's supposed to approve that project say, no, I must send this thing to village B. My village people, they must be the ones to enjoy
my people, my
people. And meanwhile, probably those village people, they don't have that need
for that,
have that need. Yeah. So I think for me, this is even an opportunity to call to the government to support the work of civil society.
Yes.
I must comment that they've been trying, but more can still be done. More can still be done. There are some times that you need to implement a project and the bureaucratic process for approval is unnecessarily long. 3 months when I believe you me, I'm not just saying this from area I alone.
No, we experienced this.
Yes, I've worked with several organizations in the same sector. It's still the same thing.
Yeah.
So some state government, they are wonderful, they are good, they are open. Yes, but I think so it's not a one size fits it all.
It's not a one size fits it all. And just before you say that, true, this is going to be your parting word. So wrap it up and let's hear from you.
Okay, parting words. First, I wanted to say that we love the government at Area I, and we're doing a good work.
We love the government. Everyone loves the government.
And we're doing a good work in partnership with them. Like I said, Edidiong just came back from Edo State.
Yeah.
We used the State Ministry of Education for our teachers training. Yeah. We did the same thing in Kaduna, in Kano, and Jigawa. We'll do the same thing in Ekiti and Ogun State in the next couple of weeks. So when there's actually partnership between government and CSO, the experience is beautiful. And that's why we're always saying that we need that partnership, because it's beautiful when we come together.
Yeah.
Parting words. I have a gift for Moyo.
Oh, thank you.
There's the learning manual here. And for everybody listening, you can go to, just give me a second, to download the learning manual.
Okay. You can go to equity.
Okay.
.areaafrica.org.
Equity.areai for Africa.org.
Yes, the 4 is number 4.
Okay, 4.
Yes, not FOUR. Equity.areai for Africa.org.
// and manual, then / again. And then you can download the learning manual in English, is in Hausa, it's in Yoruba. So you can download the manual and you can download the manual and share the knowledge.
One thing I want you to know is that if you just Google Area I, I'm very sure to take you there, because I've searched you guys out on a couple of times and I follow what you do.
Exactly.
And you guys are doing amazing.
Thank you.
So
very
it's another
much.
beautiful edition of SDGs Connect. Today is really, really interesting. I've learned a lot. And also for you audience out there, we want to say, don't relent. Your little impact is really making a lot in another person's life. So don't relent. You're an advocate and we appreciate you. Do not forget to follow us on all our social media handles. It's SDGs Connect. SDGs Connect. Have a lovely weekend. Bye for now.